The United Nations was founded in part to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war. That's not what happened in Srebrenica. On July 11, 1995, the UN peacekeepers deployed to protect the town stood by and watched as Bosnian Serb troops slaughtered as many as 8,000 Muslim men and boys, in the worst tragedy Europe had witnessed since the Holocaust. The UN has since apologized for failing to do its job, but 20 years later, are the blue helmets any better equipped to prevent another massacre? A recent internal report suggests otherwise. It found between 2010 and 2013, peacekeepers responded to just 1 in 5 cases where civilians came under attack. Now, historically, UN peacekeepers have served more like referees, deployed to a conflict zone to maintain the peace rather than enforce it. The organization points to fairly successful operations in Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Burundi as proof the strategy can work, but other missions have produced mixed results. The UN's handling of Somalia in the mid-90s was described by one UN official as the greatest failure of the UN in our lifetime. The UN has also admitted failure in Sudan and Rwanda, which is why it took a different approach in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where a bloody conflict had left millions dead. In 2013, the UN Security Council ditched its policy of peacekeepers acting only in self-defense, instead launching what it called a force intervention brigade aimed at disarming the rebels. But the peacekeepers were repeatedly accused of inaction as the rebels continued to terrorize the locals. Add to that reports of peacekeepers paying children for sex and selling weapons to militias, and it's hard to classify the peacekeeping experiment as anything but a failure. Today, as tens of thousands of people die in armed conflicts around the globe, the UN is under more pressure than ever to act. But at the UN Security Council, inaction. Russia recently vetoed a resolution that would have labeled the Srebrenica massacre a genocide. For Newsy, I'm Elizabeth Hagedorn.